Normally when you hear PCOS, people go directly to fertility and think that, it's only important if you're trying to get pregnant, which is not true. PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, is actually a metabolic and endocrine disorder that affects so many systems in our body. So why it's called PCOS is because if you do look on an ultrasound, it does look like there are cysts on the ovaries, which is where it got its name. Really, what those are enlarged follicles or eggs, if you want to call them that, where your body has tried to ovulate and it's put all of this time and energy and effort into that follicle to try to get it to ovulate, move down the fallopian tube into the uterus. But it realized that, things are just off. Our hormones aren't in balance. Maybe this isn't a good quality egg. It's been exposed to too much testosterone or too many toxins in your body. So it gives up on that egg. It grows it to size and then it leaves it and moves on to the next one. Because one thing that I like to let people know and really think about is our body's next most basic instinct after survival is to reproduce. So if you're not able to reproduce, there's something going on in your body. This is a huge red flag, right? Your body doesn't want to bring in offspring into a world that it deems unsafe. And it doesn't want to go into, all of the effort and time and energy it takes to grow a baby to full term if it's not going to be able to survive out of the womb, right? It doesn't want a baby that's has some genetic malformations or it's just not healthy, right? So PCOS, that's where all of that side comes from. But really, it's a combination of things like insulin resistance, inflammation, adrenal dysfunction, and then coming off of hormonal birth control can also exacerbate all of these symptoms. So you see things like it's really hard to lose weight, easy to gain weight. You'll see women who have male pattern hair growth or hair loss. So hirsutism is like, you see women with a mustache or some beard hairs. You see women with really, really thin hair, almost like they're balding like a man. And then you can get some really intense variations of it where they actually start getting chest hair or stomach hair or all of these different things. Acne is a huge one for women with PCOS. But yeah, it's really an endocrine and metabolic disorder that affects all these systems in our body. And most women don't find out that they actually have it until they go to try to get pregnant.
Yeah, something that you just mentioned there, and I know that that it's something that I work on a lot, and it's something that I'm really passionate about, and that's acne. And can you explain maybe a bit more about the link between PCOS and acne?
Yeah, absolutely. Luckily, I was someone who didn't struggle with acne too much, but a lot of the women that I work with, that's their number one concern. Even if they're not trying to get pregnant or they already have a cycle, they're really struggling with acne a lot of the time. So this insulin resistance that I was talking about, one of the root causes or drivers of PCOS, actually affects our testosterone. So what happens is that all of these cells in our body are desensitized to insulin. So insulin is used to help your cells absorb the glucose or energy in your body. And the rest of your cells are kind of growing deaf to that, but your ovaries are not. So when you have all of this excess insulin in your body, it's actually impacting your ovaries and causing them to produce way too much testosterone. So not only is it, the facial hair and everything else I was talking about, we know that this can actually trigger acne in women. So you'll see women, especially around the jawline, is a huge place for acne. And really, it's this testosterone doesn't know where else to go in the body, so it comes out in acne. And then it's also exacerbated by inflammation. So we're also living a very toxic lifestyle most of the time, most of us. The products that we use, the foods that we eat, just environmental things that we're exposed to in our air and our water, these can actually make acne a lot worse. So, and then obviously we know it comes down to bacteria on the skin, and there's a lot of layers to it, but mostly with PCOS, it's a combination of that really high testosterone and the inflammation.